32 seated players. 192 goes down to 48 players. Double elimination. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us. And if you've been joining us on all the other streams as well, you'd see what an amazing event this is. And I'm sure you would have caught the live stream of the opening ceremony as well. Such an honor to be here and witnessing this action live. So, race to 11, here we go. It is a winner break format. Caesar Chandiga to break, as you can see, white ball anywhere behind the balk line. Usually looking for a ball in the center still. Looks like he's come up dry with that break. Let's have a look at it again. Yeah, you'd see the 7 ball pushing really close to the center pocket. Zor Ankhbayar at the table now from Mongolia. First look at what he can do. Straight away trying to attack that cluster. At least maybe get his stripe out of there. There's a ball to the center where he could open the black up with when he has the chance. Nicely weighted shot down the cushion. Played it at the right pace. That was heading towards the outside jaw, so that wouldn't have dropped had he hit that any harder. Also, guys, you have to give it up to Joy. Did you see the opening of this match as the players were announced and the big screen? For you fans out there, seeing your play on the big screen like that, and I mean even for the player themselves walking into the arena, such an amazing feeling. So the stripe ball I was talking about that he could use to open up the black ball just sits outside the left center pocket. Depending on the angle he has on that. Yeah, now with the awkward bridging on the 1 ball, if he had to go for the 14 down table, he might have to take this. If he is going for the finish, this would be the ball that he'd have to use to open up the black ball. However, deciding to bridge over that 1 ball, go for the 14, top left, dead weight. Thinking more along the lines of securing this first frame. Clever shot from Caesar with the 4 ball. I mean, you'd have thought that he might try and play that along the rail, put it in front of the pocket, but then the cue ball will be running down table, and he doesn't want to give his opponent the angle on the 13 ball outside the center to open up the black ball. So, very clever shot from Caesar. Getting the 4 out, leaving the white very close to the top cushion, not giving his opponent much of a choice. Looks like Zor Ankhbayar is deciding to go for this. This is tough. I do think the 9 fits into that left side pocket. Yeah, big gap there. Yeah, it's just at that pace. At that pace, if you're catching any jaw balls out of the pocket, definitely. At that pace, it'll only take if you've played it into the heart of the pocket. So Caesar still with the issue of the 2 solids tied up to the black ball on that left rail. The play for him here would be to get that cue ball up table into balk and slowly try and nudge those open while snookering his opponent as well. And already getting the 3 out in the open play also looks like a snooker as well. One rail escape is going to be close. Yeah, it was always going to be very close, making contact with either of the stripe balls. Could have even potted one of them. So those stripes in a really good position, I'd say from both sides, able to cause some disturbance on that black ball. Having the 9 down table also eliminates Caesar snookering him through the 5. Very nicely weighted cue ball from Caesar, getting the snooker once again. Just putting his solids into better play, waiting for the right moment. There's a jump attempt by Zor Ankhbayar, and look at the white ball positioning after that jump attempt. I'm sure he'd be very pleased with that. Caesar coming to the table now, and he's the one that's in a little bit of trouble, because even if he can see the 5, which he might be able to, he can see the 5, he's going to start, possibly going to start moving that black ball into open play. Try and play this as slow as he can. Yeah, 5's out. I would say now the shots on for Zor Ankhbayar. If he can pot the 9, get the cue ball just about center of the table, maybe just below, leave himself on an angle to the center pocket. If we can run into the black ball and the 7 ball, it's open. Let's have a look at the way he decides to play this. Yeah, I believe that was a very good chance for him. Caesar the type of player to capitalize on your mistakes very quickly. A player you can't afford to make mistakes against is Caesar Chandiga.
Seconds.
Trying to get this 1 into the center. Yeah, off the stripe. Yeah, it's also a very good shot, because now he's tied up the stripe ball, the 1 ball that could help his opponent open up the black ball. However, the black ball is now open, so Tactical frame to start off the match, very interesting. These frames usually come, you'll see them in the middle of a session, usually, and they are game changers. Mentally, these frames are quite important. The person who comes out on top of these slight tactical battles has a bit of a mental advantage going through the match, knowing that they can outmaneuver their opponent when the time comes. Obviously in this game also, the more balls you have on the table, the easier it is to put your opponent in trouble. It's as if Caesar is forcing his opponent to play his own balls safe. So if you look at the table now, cue ball anywhere down table and it's safe for Caesar. So he can pretty much now take control of the frame if he chooses to. That's an excellent shot from Caesar, excellent cueing. And just by that first shot on the 6 down to the bottom left corner pocket, I can see Caesar's very comfortable on these tables now. I did watch him play in the Masters last year as well. I'm seeing a different cue action on these tables. Much more confident, much more at home on these tables as Caesar. Is that going to reach? Just short, and not leaving anything on for his opponent. His only option might be the one rail kick into that corner pocket. It's close. Saving grace though is that the stripe and the black ball on the left hand side of the table might give Caesar a problem when he gets there. So in these main stage matches, it is a straight race to 11 winner break, no time limit.
10 seconds.
So there will be no penalty shootouts as there's no time limit, and we will have a winner who reaches 11 frames first. Once again, Zor Ankhbayar snookered on his 9 ball. He was going for the 13. The 7 ball being by the 9. It's going to be interesting. Caesar has to find a way to get that 7 out of there. Is he gonna play 5 onto the 9? That his play? I mean, under any other circumstance you play the 4 onto the 9, but where the stripe is not safe, so yeah, cue ball onto the 9. Excellent shot by Caesar, and wow, very unlucky. He played that really well. And unlucky with the cue ball. Getting the kiss off the 7, so important shot if you can't get the cue ball safe. Has he got the safety? I don't think so. I think it's visible. I think this 13 is visible to the top left hand side corner pocket for Zor. Oh, what a shot that is. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant shot from Zor Ankhbayar, and it looks like he's going to be the first on the board in this race to 11. And he is. It was a very interesting first frame we had, and there you see the shot again. Just have a look at the reaction on the cue ball to push that black ball just over the center pocket. And as you can see, we don't use the magic rack anymore. That's also why the break rule has changed. Adds another exciting dynamic element to this already exciting game. Zor Ankhbayar to break, leading 1-0 over Caesar Chandiga in this race to 11 matchup. That's a really nice break. You can see how well he hit those. Have a look at the line of the cue ball. Cue ball looked like it went straight up the table, and there you see it again, almost perfectly straight up the table, making the 10 ball in the left hand side center pocket very open. That's a brilliant shot on stripes from Zor Ankhbayar, and he knew if he missed that, have a look at the table, he would have left Caesar with many options. He decided to go for stripes, and you can see why. If you have a look at stripes now, everything is pretty much open. I mean, he would have had a good first shot on solids had he taken the 1 down to the 4 as well. Slightly off angle on this 11 to the center, but don't expect it to give him much issues. It's going to leave himself on the 9 as well as the 13. Probably has to pot this black ball into the bottom right corner pocket. As we say that, looks like he just slightly over cued that 9 ball, went across the cue ball slightly. Have a look at this. I would say first real opportunity now for Caesar to get himself on the board as well. Everything's open. Black ball's in a decent position as well. The rail 1 ball can play onto the 3. Just has to watch out for that 1 onto the 3, as depending the angle it hits the 3 ball, it could go astray. Didn't leave himself perfect on the 6-ball, I have to say. It's a big shot. And luckily just striking the cushion with the strike ball, otherwise that would have been a foul, as Caesar hit that 6-ball from behind. That was definitely unintended. He was trying to get a fine snick on the 6-ball to pot it in the top left. That is another brilliant shot. That is an excellent shot. Wow, he knew that was the ball that Caesar could use to pot the 1 and onto the 3. So just doing that made things a little bit more complicated. But as I say that, I see the 1 into the top corner pocket of the 13. I mean, if you hit it perfect, it's going in. Caesar opting to play safe and also eliminating the bank shot on the pink 12, leaving the 1 there. Interesting. I would have felt the more attacking shot is to play the 1 to the top. I mean, if you hit it perfect, it's in. If you hit it slightly thick, it can come off the cushion, off the 13, and same if you hit it fine as well. Caesar needs to attack soon. I speak from experience when I say that the Mongolian players are very talented, very hard-working players, and when they get an opportunity, their attacking game is almost second to none. Their potting, positional play, from what I've seen, excellent. Always featuring high up in the joy events as well. To be honest, he couldn't have played that much better. Just getting the jaw of the center, just before the jaw of the center with the cue ball, coming 3 cushions around. This one requires a bit of finesse to hold this cue ball. Doesn't want to be straight on the 9. Has to find a way to get back down table now. This is going to require some power stroke. We've seen him miss 1 or 2 of these power strokes. He's got the slightest of angles on this 9 ball. It's very slight. And these tables, they don't like when you force. Yeah, look at that. If you look at the trajectory of the cue ball, almost straight on that, so he went for the safer option, though this is a big pot. That was rail first almost. Rushed that shot a bit, I feel he could have taken his time a little bit longer with that shot. Now Caesar once again at the table. A very good opportunity to get on the scoreboard, not let his opponent run away. So far I have to say the more attacking player in this match has been Zor Ankhbayar from Mongolia. Yeah, good pot under the circumstances, and now left himself a good angle on the 6. Get himself nicely on the black ball. The cue ball coming dangerously close to the center pocket, but all safe in the end, and it looks like it's gonna be 1-all. Caesar Chandiga gets himself on the scoreboard. 1-all in this race to 11. I think both players need to settle into this match. I mean, we haven't seen, I think, even 5 balls potted in a row in this match yet. But once they settle, I think then we'll start seeing break-in runs and rack-in runs as well. See the table under the TV lights, brand new cloth. We'll be playing slightly faster, have a bit more slide in the outer tables, and of course the practice tables as well. Caesar breaking from the same place he did before. Definitely struck that better, and straight away I saw the 15 get knocked into the left side pocket. Have a look at the 15 on its way. Yeah, just getting a small touch from the 12 ball. Managing to get that stripe in on that break. Cueing off the cushion, he missed that by quite a margin, did Caesar. And it's not going to help him that the cue ball went in as well. So Zor Ankhbayar, ball in hand, open table. And the table is looking quite open indeed. I like stripes in this case. Only thing is the black ball is surrounded by all the solids. To me, doesn't look like there's a path to the black ball the way it lies at the moment. So if he is going to take the stripes, he has to somehow nudge the black ball into open play or nudge the solids out of the way. Looking at the angle he's given himself into the 4. Yeah, he moved it, but I don't think that helped much. Did see him come and have a look if it passes into the center, which I don't think it does. So just have a look at this. Yeah, he got the 4 ball, half ball cannon, so that's why the black ball didn't move as much as he wanted it to. Look, he's definitely not going to be going for the finish if the black ball doesn't pass, so he must see something that we don't. And saying that, another uncharacteristic miss. You usually don't see that at this stage or at this level. Yeah, and as I said, both players not settled into this match yet. You can see it. That's very surprising. Very surprising from Caesar Chandiga. Honestly, don't think Zor Ankhbayar expected to be at the table this quick. Caesar having a look at whether the 6-ball passes in between the gap between the 11 and the 14. It does. It made it. Depends how attacking you want to be. Now would be the time to double the 3. He'd leave himself nicely on the 5 as well, the 5, the 7. Should play the double with control on the cue ball as well. Oh yeah, he's played that really well. Yeah, he's landed almost perfectly on the 7, the 5. The 5 gives him an opportunity to open up that pack a bit. Almost guaranteed to still be on the 7. Does he take the 5 to the bottom right? Yeah, I felt he should have played that with a bit of follow. Let the cue ball run through, kiss off the 2 and the 4, opening them up a bit. But good cue ball nonetheless. In terms of safety play, I mean, his opponent wouldn't like the position he's in. Tough situation. You don't want to be giving ball in hand now when your opponent has their solids all in the middle of the table, so that looks like a foul to me. Yep. No contact made, foul. Ball in hand for Caesar Chandiga. Excellent opportunity for him to go 2-1 up in this match. And in previous matches, this is the kind of situation I've seen Caesar not falter. When it comes to these situations where you have your few balls in open table and they may look easy, being in the middle of the table, being open, but the shot selection and the route you choose can determine how easy it is for you. So I've always said that that I do like Caesar's shot selection. He can make the game look very easy with the way he selects his shot. Minimal white ball movement, staying on the right angles usually. So it looks like it's going to be 2-ball in the left center pocket after this 5. And thus leaving the black ball to the left corner pocket. He's managed to clear those balls up, and he goes 2-1 up against Zor Ankhbayar in this race to 11. Another slightly scrappy frame mistakes from both players, but nonetheless, ball in hand for Caesar. Good finish at the end of that frame.
欧上地毯，突破核心科技，从智能车间到高品质球房，重新定义标准。 为每一个台球梦想铺好第一步， 铺好毯，打好球，不掉毛，零干扰。
职业选手的第一选择，欧尚地毯掉毛地毯终结者。
凯撒昌利加开球。
So with the winner break format, you saw Caesar breaking in this fourth frame, leading Zor Ankhbayar 2 frames to 1 in this race to 11. I see one solid down, open table, Caesar at the table.
10 seconds. 延时。
It's a very nice attacking shot. Taking solids on, at the same time removing the 3 from near the cushion, getting it out into open play. So solids looking very good now in this frame. No, I wouldn't have expected that. I would have never expected that from Caesar. As we have a look at this again, you know, I did see that he wasn't sure on that shot when he came down. I could see it. He was 2 minds about the cue ball, most probably the 3 as well. A few people on the stream speaking about the break rules. Yes, there has been a change of the break rules. So firstly, it is a winner break format now. And secondly, as you can see, no more magic rack. We're using triangles. And also, you can break from anywhere behind the balk line. There is no more kitchen, as we called it, where you have to break from the side. And on the line, you can now break from anywhere within balk. Also the penalties on the break, so the points. So before it was 4 balls needed to pass the balk line in order for it to be a legal break. That is also no more. Now it's just that 4 balls need to make contact with the cushion, and that will be considered a legal break. So because of that, you don't see any more, or you don't see many at least, illegal breaks, and you don't see players losing frames because of their break letting them down. And as we all know, I mean, your break can let you down on a day. It can be just not your day. And in a match like this, race to 11, race to 13, you can lose a couple of frames based on that. I mean, it can be tough. So yeah, those are the changes. And also the penalty spot has changed, as we did see that in the qualifying stage of this tournament when it did go to penalty shootout. Penalty spot is now where the first ball is racked, the foot spot. That won't be coming into play in these matches, as these are non-timed matches and they would be played throughout race to 11 until completion. So Caesar with another chance in this frame. Didn't expect him to be coming back to the table, so his opponent not punishing him for that mistake on the 4-ball. 4-ball again to the bottom left. Did play it confidently, I have to say. I mean, he could have just rolled it, but then he wouldn't have been on the 3-ball as good as he is now. As you can see, that's the reason he played it firmer. He played it to get the cue ball out into open table, that he would have a better shot at the 3. But now, have a look at this for a shot. 3 cushions around, actually a bit too pacey, but almost getting perfect on that 11 ball from Zor Ankhbayar. And you saw the cue power, you saw the way he cued that ball. No problem smashing them in and maneuvering the cue ball around the table. Caesar now with a very good chance at the table to get his 3rd frame on the board. Yeah, I'm sure he'd be a bit upset at not getting the break and run there. That the break and run looked clear to me after he made that great first shot in removing the 3-ball from near the cushion. He was clear through for a break and run. As we see that black ball goes down, Caesar now leads 3 frames to 1 in this race to 11, and momentum on Caesar's side now as well. And there we have a look at this wonderful arena. Have a look at that main table setup in the beautiful Chengdu city of the Sichuan province here in China. I would say sunny Chengdu as it has been, but today it's actually slightly overcast. We've had brilliant weather here in China for the duration of this tournament thus far. So Caesar to break again, and as you can see, the winner break format can also help with momentum. As you just finish a frame, you're back on the table, and you have the opportunity to continue with the momentum. That being said, cue ball going in off. Did get kicked by anything? No, actually one rail and then straight into the center pocket. I can tell you a player who hasn't settled in this match for sure, and that is Zor Ankhbayar. We have definitely not seen his best yet. You can also find all the other matches and fixtures for today and the rest of this tournament on the Joy Heyball World Tour Facebook page. The draw is there as well as the live scores, the links to the live scores, so you can have a look and you can actually search for the player you are looking for and know exactly when they would be playing their live score as well. Yeah, that's definitely right. We are still in the early stages of this tournament. We are day 2 of the main stage. I mean, we've just completed 8 days of the qualifying, so we actually just started the main stage yesterday. That being after that wonderful opening ceremony as well. So early stages, and a lot of players who are still in are practicing at the moment because they will be playing later on today and tomorrow. Also, a lot of players are tuned into our live streams as well here on Facebook and YouTube. You can catch all the TV Table 1 action for the rest of the tournament on the YouTube and Facebook page. I don't think there's a gap between the 6 and the pocket. Yeah, there wasn't, but look at this. Have a look at the 15. Wow. We'll see what an important shot that becomes in this frame if Caesar goes on to clear it. There we see that shot again. The 15 getting a kiss off the 12, rolling its way off the outside jaw into the center pocket. So once again, Caesar faced with a couple of balls out in the open table. And these are the situations where, at this level, you can't afford to make a mistake. And trust me, it's not only for the scoreline, it's for your own mind. Because you come to the table, you have a look at this table and you say to yourself, I should finish from here. I should make the finish. Because everything's an open table, relatively easy. So these ones are the most important. Taking those chances, making the most of every opportunity. And I have to say, from watching Caesar play Heyball before and also in his black ball matches, he usually does make the most of these kind of opportunities. That's in. Leave himself with a medium length black ball to the bottom left corner pocket. Very nicely executed clearance from Caesar to go 4-1 up in this race to 11. And definitely now the momentum with Caesar Chandiga from Uganda. looking slightly more at home on this main table than he did at the start of this match. So far, no break-in runs or rack-in runs yet. But it is still early stages in this match. I do believe we'll see them coming soon. There you go. Caesar to break again. He's still using that side break. Let's have a look. Contacted that pack heavily on the side of the first ball, but made a ball. Have a look at this. Have a look at the cue ball. Yeah, that was almost a half ball contact in the first ball. Got the stripe in the center. All the balls on one side of the table again. So it's quite a big shot to take on as your first shot with open table. He knew he'd be leaving quite a bit on. I think he's left the 2 as well. The 6 was always going to be on. This is a race to 11, no time limit, and yes, it is a winner break format. So if you can make break and runs, you can keep breaking the entire match. It's a decent opportunity for Zor Ankhbayar to make the clearance on the solids. One ball doesn't look like it passes to the bottom left. Have to find a way to take that, to either push it towards the cushion so it does go, or take that to one of the center pockets. And this looks like it's going to be the shot. The 4 ball to connect to the 1. Very unlucky. Very unlucky to not just grab the 1 ball with the cue ball and pull it out of that situation. Caesar coming to the table, ball in hand. He leads 4 frames to 1. Yeah, the 6 ball a problem for Caesar as he's
10 seconds.
as the 9 and the 15 on the side wouldn't have a pocket to go into, so straight away deciding to take care of that, leaving the cue ball on the cushion, not giving his opponent much to work with. much he could do from that position, I have to say. The previous shot from Caesar with ball in hand was the shot that opened up the game for him, removing the 6-ball from that corner pocket. And even this really nice contact on the 15. Another great opportunity for Caesar to extend his lead once more in this match. Confident cueing. The cue ball needs to hold up slightly, but he's on this 9. Leave himself a slight angle on the 10 ball to the center to get the cue ball a little bit down table to make it easier for himself on the black ball. And it looks like he's done just that. Float the cue ball down really nicely on this black ball now. Caesar Chandiga goes 5-1 up in this race to 11. Very nice from Caesar, and that's what I was talking about earlier, making those end of frame clearances when the balls are in decent positions, the clearances that you should make. Caesar making them well.
凯撒昌黎加开球。
Caesar with the break, leading 5-1, and cue ball goes straight into that corner pocket. Let's have a look at this again. Off one rail, in again. That's the second straight in-off we've had from Caesar's break. Definitely looks like there's some work he could do with the break. Now ball in hand behind the line for his opponent, so his opponent has to play forward. Can't play behind the line, as you can see. He couldn't play the 7 or the stripes. Deciding to take the 6 onto the center pocket. Brilliant shot to release the 3 from behind the 9 ball. However, I see quite a few issues here. They got the 4 by the 11 as well. Might decide to play the 2 into that gap at the moment. Yeah, off the 11. That's a great shot. I don't know if he's just opened up that pocket for the 4. It'll be close. Reading some of the comments on Facebook. See, I'm happy to see Africa winning on the big screen. Yes, definitely. I am from South Africa myself. I'm Raymond Tillak from South Africa, and I couldn't be more proud to see how well Africa as a continent is doing in this tournament. Quite a few of our countries in Africa being represented here, and they are representing Africa as a whole very well indeed. Africa bringing high quality pool to the world, I have to say. I have to say, this is quite a masterful clearance so far by Zor Ankhbayar. When he came to the table, although he had ball in hand behind the line, he didn't have much to work with, and straight away you saw him getting rid of the 3, playing the 2 onto the stripe of the 4. He needs his cue ball to hold up though. Yeah, he seems good. Now big shot to get position on this 1 ball and thereafter the black ball as well. I think he might have just opened up the gap for the black ball to the top left. The amount of cannons that he has had to make to get this far in this clearance. Thank you everyone for tuning in on our live streams here. We appreciate all the feedback. Thank you so much, guys. Decided to stun that 1 ball into the top right corner pocket and leave himself the double. If this doesn't go in, I believe he's in trouble. Oh, straight in, not a problem. And he pulls 1 back. Score now 5-2 in favor of Caesar Chandiga over Zor Ankhbayar. And that was a rack and run. So a rack and run is, you can call it a reverse break and finish or reverse dish. Opponent breaks and you come to the table and clear. But that was an excellent clearance. I believe he made about 3 or 4 cannons in that frame to make that clearance possible, and I hope they cut that and put that and highlight that frame, because that was an excellent clearance from nowhere.
Zor Ankhbayar 开球。
So in the winner break format, Zor Ankhbayar to break now 5-2 down in this race to 11 against Caesar Chandiga. And straight away I did see the 4 ball pop into the right center pocket. Very good break. Once again controlling that cue ball well. At first glance, I do see the 3 ball on that side cushion. I would say because of that, Zor Ankhbayar deciding to go for stripes. Slightly overrun position on that. I think he would have liked to play the 10 next, been in the gap to play the 10 and then come through to play the 14 next. So to me it looks like he can go 14 into the right center pocket. Would like to leave himself straight on the 9 into the opposite center pocket. Yeah, he saw a little bit of side in the cue ball and he's not too happy with where that finished off because he's off angle on the 9. But I think he might just roll this through, be on the 15 down table. Yeah, the 15 down table, leave himself with the 11 into the bottom right, and that's not going to make it. That's not going to make it, and a mistake from Zor Ankhbayar. Just trying to hold the cue ball. As the previous shot, he was just off angle on that 9. Hence why he played it at that pace, to try and hold the cue ball. Unforced error from Zor Ankhbayar. Would have been a good clearance. Caesar Chandiga back to the table, ball in hand. This 3 off the 9. Nicely played from Caesar. Straight away attacking his problem ball, also at the same time pushing the 9 safe. And once again, I would say we are in Caesar territory, because these are the finishes that Caesar always makes sure of. Slight pullback for the 5. Perfectly on this 5 ball to the bottom left corner pocket. You can see the pace has also gotten a bit faster from Caesar, feeling very comfortable on the table now, as he pots that black ball to go 6-2 up in this race to 11. It is 8 frames. I do believe it is a 10-minute player break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. The score 6-2 to Caesar Chandiga in this race to 11.
精彩比赛马上开始。
命结束，比赛继续。第9局，凯撒康尼加开球。
And we are back. Thanks to everyone joining us once again on our live streams, YouTube and Facebook. Caesar Chandiga with the break, leading 6 frames to 2 in this race to 11. Try break once again from Caesar, giving the opportunity to Zor Ankhbayar to make a comeback. As we did see him on an excellent clearance in the previous frame and just making one mistake. And that's all it took to let Caesar back to the table and for him to extend his lead to 6-2. Yeah, I think with that shot he was thinking more about cue ball positioning, drifting the cue ball off to one side, to the right hand side of the table. Just took his eye off the pot, caught the outside jaw. These pockets don't like to be cheated. Caesar pushing his 4-ball towards the pocket and he's getting those stripes in a bunch. However, I think that Zor Ankhbayar is going to take the 14. Yep, 14 down, it's going to stay there. Slightly miscalculated double attempt from Caesar. Can he get this 9-ball in off the 4? Yes, he definitely can, but where's the 4 going? Just giving himself a slight headache at the bottom of the table with the 4-ball. Coming very close to making that 15 not potable. However, he does have the 12-ball in the jaws of the pocket, so cue ball control now after this 12-ball to stay on the 15. He was much better off playing it at that pace. From this angle I can't see whether the black ball does go into the left center pocket, but we'll know after he plays this, and to me that's a yes. Just asking for the cue ball to be cleaned. So black ball to the center pocket and it's there. Zor Ankhbayar pulls another one back. Score now 6-3 to Caesar Chandiga in this race to 11. I see that quite often from some of the players, cleaning the cue ball before playing the black, and it's quite controversial. I mean, some would say that that can take away your rhythm. So if you're like on a clearance and you're going for the black ball and you now stop and take too much time waiting for the cue ball to be cleaned. That could disrupt your rhythm, and then some players do that almost every single frame before a black ball. So I guess it's just part of their, I'd say, their pre-shot routine when it comes to a black ball. Because I can tell you that most times when the players are getting the cue ball clean, it's not because there's anything actually on it. Well, most players using Teom chalk nowadays as well, so not much residue on the cue ball. It's more of a psychological factor. And of course there are times where you actually do see a player get a kick and a bad contact with the cue ball. That I can understand, but most times if you keep watching through this tournament, you'll see many players cleaning the cue ball before an important black ball as well. So interesting one to watch out for. This is a race to 11. Score is currently 6-3 in favor of Caesar Chandiga. Caesar now at the table, choosing to go stripes. Quite a bit of work to do on stripes as far as I can see. And I don't think that's the shot he played. He did not play for a double kiss on the 10 and to push the 9 safe. Not at all. He was actually hoping to sneak the 10 slightly finer, I would say. Get it off the cushion. Cue ball behind the 9 would have been preferred. But it was no real run out on stripes per se. Now Zor Ankhbayar back at the table. He is 6-3 down. A lot of work to do, and he has seen that when he does give Caesar the opportunity, Caesar's very quickly to take that and extend his lead. From this angle, it looks like the 4 ball might just sneak in to the right center pocket of the outside jaw. But I mean, you'd have to be right behind it. The confidence in the stroke coming out now from Zor Ankhbayar as you saw that shot go down. And how has that worked out for him? 5 ball now in open play, the bottom of the table. He can get on the 5 after the 6, but the 4 ball still remains a mystery because it's not that close to the center pocket. What's going through his head right now? Does he decide to take the cross double on the 4 ball? Opposite center pocket? Oh, he's caught that much too thick. Yeah, I could see Caesar was going for that shot to roll the 10 down, but he's left the double. And he's left the double on with the angle that it can be possible to get this cue ball back down table. So and I think it's the only shot that Zor Ankhbayar has. Yeah, there you go. There you go, and have a look at this. Have a look at this. Unbelievable. Have a look at this shot. Watch the cue ball. Have a look at this cue ball. Cue ball actually arced around the stripe and then straightened up off the top cushion. That was a fantastic shot. Wow. He's been unfortunate. He's been so unfortunate to push the black ball safe. So unfortunate. But as a possible shot here off the stripe, yeah, there you go. He's looking at it. So if you hit this into the stripe, you're looking at a quarter ball on the black ball. You can squeeze it off the stripe into the bottom right hand side corner pocket.
10 seconds. 延时
Yeah, it looks like he's playing it with a bit of left hand side as well. There it goes. Wow. That is highlight reel worthy.
8-2胜，比分4-6。
Those last few shots. Take a bow, Zor Ankhbayar. Have a look at this again. Half ball contact, and there it goes with a bit of side on the cue ball to throw it in. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Zor Ankhbayar pulls another one back with that fantastic clearance on the last few balls. 6 frames to 4. Caesar Chandiga leads in this race to 11. That was phenomenal. That's what happens, you know, sometimes when you
赵安哈巴尔开始
have no other choice. Like he had no other choice on the double on the 4 as well. He had to play the double. He had to play it in a certain way to get the cue ball back. There was no choice. Have a look at this break again. So he thought it was dry as well, but have a look at the 13. There's a 13 kissed by the 2 on, and there it just falls. So he had already gone and sat down. Didn't think he'd pot a ball there. He's back now at the table. The score was 6-2 at the break, so Zor Ankhbayar pulled 2 back since the 10-minute break we've had at 8
10
frames.
seconds. 延时
Oh, he cheated the pocket there. Very nice. He couldn't get through to the full potting angle of that, so there, have a look at this. The 5 ball was actually stopping him from actually potting that into the center of the pocket, so played at the right pace to just cheat that center pocket jaw. Yeah, and now he's letting that arm free, but unlucky once again to be snookered behind the 1 ball. Very unlucky. One rail, he's playing into 3, most probably the 12. He got the 9. Hasn't worked out too badly for him. Oh, Caesar Chandiga back at the table now, leading in this match. 6 frames to 4, race to 11. There is no time limit on this match. Nice fluid stroke from Caesar. Can tell you it can't be too easy sitting in that chair and watching your opponent make a finish like he just did in the previous frame, especially after trying to leave him safe. Because I mean that's a percentage play. You're playing on a percentage that he's not going to make the finish. Caesar must have seen that this 5-ball passes into the center. Yeah, and it definitely does. Would have liked to leave himself on the 4 after that. I think he might just have it, might not. So this next shot, big shot in this frame for Caesar. And there it is, was the position for the 4 he was going for. So I did say big shot because he had to come around for the 4 ball. Took his eye off the pot there, also playing it with a bit of side. I have to say the positional play is slightly loose from Zor Ankhbayar. His potting gets him out of trouble a lot, but snookered himself quite a few times while on a finish. Yeah, he shouldn't have missed that. Giving Caesar another opportunity at this table and a very good opportunity to increase his lead once again. Looking at rolling through on the 1 or stunning on the 1, leaving himself nicely on the 3 ball. He's got a few options on how to play this 1 now. Yeah, he's trusting his follow stroke. Very good with those is Caesar. Caesar very deadly in those situations when you leave him with a few balls on the table. A chance to make the clearance. And Caesar potting that black ball to go 7-4 up in this race to 11 against Zor Ankhbayar. So it's been interesting since the break. We've seen a great clearance from Zor Ankhbayar, and after that another excellent finish, doubling that 4 and an amazing black ball to the corner pocket. And now Caesar pulling one more back.
第12局，凯撒昌利加开球。
Caesar to break, leading 7 frames to 4 in this race to 11. Getting the ball in the center. Have a look at this break here. 7 balls straight into the center pocket. Cue ball around the angles. Caesar's break not leaving himself a very open table, I have to say. that's another uncharacteristic miss. An unforced error from Caesar. I mean, we've seen what his opponent can do when he gets into full flow. His opponent is very dangerous. Zor Ankhbayar is a very dangerous player. Decided to take on stripes. He must have a way to free that 11 ball that is there at the top left corner with the 4 and the 1. It looked to me like he was trying to force that, trying to cheat that pocket a bit too much and forcing the cue ball. I would have thought that the shot he would have played was to drop onto the 13 first and then go into the 11. Caesar playing safe, but from what I can see, the 14 goes into the center. Not much you can do with the cue ball if you take the 14 to the center, as the cue ball is going in the wrong direction, so might play the double with the element of safe. Yeah. I'm pretty sure this 14 goes into the center. And it's taking the cue ball naturally up table. I was just about to actually say that he's been very accurate when it came to those center pocket, medium length center pocket cuts. So far he's had 100% pot success with those. That's the first miss to the center of those from Zor Ankhbayar. A big thank you to everyone joining us on the live streams to support our players and the fans of these players on our live streams. We appreciate all the support and all the comments as well. We will be live for the rest of the tournament, every match on the TV table. So that's 3 to 4 sessions per day. We have the international session and then we have the Chinese session after this as well, with another international session this evening. You can find the schedule, draw, and you can even search for the player you are looking for on the links on our Facebook page, Joy Heyball World Tour.
Seconds. 延时
Zor Ankhbayar deciding to take his extension in this frame. They are allowed 1 extension per frame, so it's a shot clock of 45 seconds, and the extension adds another 30 seconds on top of that, I believe. Very nice camera angle, the previous one, watching how close he actually was to that stripe ball, but not making contact with it, of course. think he might have found a gap for this 13 to find its way into the top left corner pocket, and he definitely did. And the pace he played that with as well, the confidence. Yeah, that comes down to trying to hold that cue ball. That's all he was trying to do. Have a look at this. This is not a shot that he would normally miss. Yeah, and also it actually looked like a bit of kick on that. So you saw the object ball just skid away as well. But you have uncharacteristic miss from Zor Ankhbayar.
Seconds.
Yeah, Caesar not giving him a very nice opportunity to make the clearance there, leaving him tight up against that 4 ball, the previous shot. So Caesar needs to get this cue ball safe once again if he's not going for the finish, or secure the pocket, deciding to pot the 2. If he goes for the finish now, the 6 ball becomes the issue. How does he get on the 6? Has to get right behind it onto the left side of this table to pot it in the right corner. Or he can get the white ball safe like that. Very good shot from Caesar. Not only has he got the cue ball safe, by putting the red 3 ball in front of the black ball, making the clearance that much harder if his opponent somehow does manage to get lucky and pot a ball coming out of the snooker. Yes, Edward Hoffman, Mick Hill is in the event. I did see him arrive the other day just before the opening ceremony. One of the seeded players. He will come into the tournament at a later stage.
Seconds.
So this is turning out to be another, you can say, scrappy frame. Tactical battle, we could say as well. Caesar taking his extension, so both players using the extensions in this frame so far. What I would say though is that so far in this match, when things have gone tactical, Caesar has come out victorious. That's how he put those first few frames on the board. They weren't clearances, they were frames like this, waiting for the opportunity. See Caesar just coming around to have a look at whether the 6 ball passes the 11 into the top left. I think it does, at least off the inside jaw. He played that really well considering how close that cue ball was to the top cushion. Be interesting to see his route here. The 6 ball must pass if he is going for the finish, so could go 3, 5, 6, then the black.
10 seconds.
Yeah, he's left himself a nice angle on this 5 ball as well. Drift the cue ball up table. Would like to leave a slight angle on the 6 just so you could get closer to his work here at the bottom of the table for the black ball into the bottom left corner pocket. Nice use of the angles with a touch of left spin on that cue ball to just open up the angle and bring the cue ball closer to that 6 ball, giving himself a slight angle on the 6 as well. However, no cheating the pocket here as that 11 is very close to the outside jaw. Yeah, just a touch of an angle. And by potting that black ball, Caesar puts another one on the board. And as I said, those frames, when they become tactical, they're going Caesar's way. I believe the score is now 8-4 to Caesar Chandiga in this race to 11.
第13局，凯撒场地将开球。
And there you have our scoreline, 8-4 in favor of Caesar Chandiga in this race to 11. Caesar with a dry break now. And once again you see the cluster at the side of the table. Not very easy to make a clearance from a break like that as well. This is a race to 11 no time limit match, so all the matches from now on have no time limit. So there will be no penalty shootout, and there will be a winner when the first player reaches 11 frames on the board. Yes, very true. When we do see the frames becoming tactical, I mean, we have played 12 frames thus far in this match, and I think about half of them or so have been tactical.
10 seconds.
Slightly more than half, and they have gone Caesar's way. And as you can see, the scoreline reads 8 frames to 4, and that's how Caesar took the big gap at the beginning of the match. He pulled that gap by winning those important tactical frames. Those of you who watch Caesar playing on a black ball table as well would know that he is a master tactician as well. very good at securing the frame or not giving his opponent a chance to make the clearance, rather, which is how he has become such a successful player with his all-round game. That was an attempt to get into the bunch from Zor Ankhbayar, trying to come around the angles into that bunch, but the angle was slightly too steep for that, so now he has 2 stripes left on this table. That hasn't worked out too badly. He's left Caesar's 2 solids on the left hand side tied up and got his stripes out of trouble. Caesar getting a quarter ball kiss on the 3 ball and leave the cue ball safe up table. So in this case, Zor Ankhbayar feels that he could leave the cue ball slightly loose as there's no finish on for Caesar. But the only problem I see with that is leaving the cue ball loose for Caesar means that when you come back to the table, usually you are not left with a good shot. But he has left him with a long distance stripe. He tried to power that one in. This is a double elimination stage of the tournament, so 192 players, that's 160 from the qualifying stage with the 32 seeded players. It's 192 down to 48, double elimination, so if you do lose, you have another chance to fight through the losers bracket and come out second in the group, which will put you through still. So one bad day at the office is not the end of the tournament for you. I feel Caesar's going to take this 2 ball to the top left. Going to play it at a pace where he's going to stand in front of the pocket if it doesn't go in, but that's in. He's played that really well. Smooth shot from Caesar. And once again, this frame did go tactical when Zor Ankhbayar left himself with no finish. And once again, we see Caesar at the table And this is starting to look like Caesar territory. That's what I'd like to call it. When there's a few balls left on the table, 5 or 6 balls in open play, Caesar hardly makes a mistake then. Also, very good at making the game look very simple is Caesar with his shot selection and cue ball positioning. As you can see, he left himself very nicely on the 6 ball. Automatically going to be the right side of the 3. As you can see, he didn't have to do much with the cue ball. So that shot on the 6, I mean, it requires a lot of concentration on these pockets. So the less you have to do with the cue ball, the better. Left himself with a natural angle on the 3 to drift down for the black ball. That's another one on the scoreboard for Caesar Chandiga as he leads 9 frames to 4 in this race to 11 non-time. Caesar breaking once again in this winner breaks format, leading 9 frames to 4. It's a slightly better cue ball control this time, but still not getting the desired spread. Let's have a look at this. Yeah, cue ball straight into the center of the side cushion, so at least that keeps it safe. That dry break brings Zor Ankhbayar back to the table, deciding to go solids. Look, by now I'm sure he knows that he shouldn't let a frame get tactical, because out of the 2 players, when it comes to these tactical frames, Caesar definitely has the advantage. I also have to say that out of the 2 players, Caesar is also the more patient. He's been the more patient player in this match. The timing of when he decides to go for his finish is very important, and that's why the scoreline reflects that. So it looks like he's going to have to leave the 7 as his last ball because of the way he's gotten on this 1. The 5 will have to be next. If he plays the 7 into the bottom left, doesn't have to play it that hard, has the black ball to the right center pocket. So, however, he has left himself quite straight on this 1. Yeah, he's played that well. He's played that really well. Went to dislodge the 7. Wow, what a player. Could have just rolled that in, dropped behind the 7, dropped the 7 into the left. corner pocket and play the black ball for the center and the opposite right, but I like the way Zor Ankhbayar plays this game. At 9-4 down, still playing his shots, still playing the confident shots. And he pulls one back, 9-5. Caesar Chandiga leads Zor Ankhbayar in this race to 11. And that's another rack and run for Zor Ankhbayar off Caesar's dry break. So the breaks are definitely something that Caesar has to work on, in my opinion. Dry breaks at this stage in a tournament, especially if the spread is decent and you bring your opponent back to the table, who can definitely pot holds very well.
第15局，赵安哈巴亚尔开球。
So far we've seen good breaks from Zor Ankhbayar, cue ball control, getting a ball in the center. Yeah, once again, have a look at the cue ball control. Excellent cue ball control. That cue ball going nowhere near going in off. However, this time I believe it is dry. Here, if you watch the 6 ball, just coming out the outside jaw of the right center pocket. And the thing is, with the way Zor Ankhbayar breaks, it's always well spread out. It's an excellent opportunity for Caesar to get on the hill. Caesar going stripes, and stripes definitely looking better. As you can see with solids, you got the 7 on the bottom cushion, the 5 on the left as well. So that wasn't a hard decision to make. Needs to miss the 7. Yeah, that was loose from Caesar, but he's been fortunate to be on the 11 ball to the right center pocket. Once again, Caesar not tight enough with that cue ball. That cue ball not on a string yet from Caesar. Slightly overcomplicating this finish now. Didn't want to be so close to this 15 ball, but it's okay. So these last 3 stripes and to land on the black ball, so I think he'd have to take the 14 next. However, he does not want to push the 4 ball in front of the black, so yeah, more to the cushion. Yeah, he's played that well. However, yes, just fell. Good shot from Caesar. Made sure, that's why he took a few extra seconds with that shot, because he knew he was going into the 4 and he didn't want to obstruct the path from the 9 to the black ball with the 4. So this has always been his pattern here in this frame. 9 ball as his last ball to get onto the black. And I don't understand what's happened there. Like, he's just understroked that completely, decelerated with that shot. think just a slight lapse in concentration from Caesar with that one. I mean, that should have been a finish. Now I think for the first time in this match, Caesar is the one with less balls on the table than Zor Ankhbayar. And to be honest, in this situation, on a Heyball table, the person with more balls on the table should never lose the frame. So many opportunities to keep the cue ball safe if you decide to go that route. Caesar looking at the potting angle on this 12 ball to the top left corner pocket. The in-off is close, but depends how he decides to play the white. If he rolls through, I think it's just coming past. Oh, what a shot from Caesar. My word. Caesar absolutely hammered that ball into the top left corner pocket. I have to say, very loose safety shot from Zor Ankhbayar in the previous shot, giving Caesar the opportunity to make that pot. But now he's played a good safety, good snooker. There's a lot of traffic for this cue ball to get through. That's a very good shot from Caesar. That is an excellent shot. If you look at where he made contact with the cushion, how much of right hand side spin was on that cue ball to get the cue ball down and pull that angle. Although Caesar made contact with that stripe, that actually favored Zor Ankhbayar a lot, because now if you look at the pocket, it's a big pocket for the 5 ball and the black ball as well. So now if he makes the clearance on his solids, if you have a look at the black ball, you can play that black ball down to this corner with absolutely no pressure on it at all, knowing that if he hangs it, it's in front of Caesar's ball. And of course, if he misses it by quite a bit, it actually kisses off Caesar's ball. What's he done? He's gotten into that cue ball way too much. He's gotten quite fortunate with that result. But I can tell you, Caesar did not expect to be coming back to the table. Zor Ankhbayar definitely a bit too loose with his cue ball control. Seen it quite a few times.
Ten seconds. 延时。
Once again, Zor Ankhbayar using his extension in this frame. Be attempting the 7 to the side pocket and also trying to get safe with the cue ball. As you can see, he would have been covered. So Caesar could play onto the 1. He could. And I was going to say he could play onto the 1 and block the pocket for the black ball at least. Decided to play that at pace. Similar situation to earlier though. So Zor Ankhbayar with a second chance at closing out this frame, because again, rolling that black ball down to this bottom left, almost no pressure on that shot because of where Caesar's stripe is. But he preferred to get the black ball off the cushion. Nicely executed clearance at the end there by Zor Ankhbayar. Caesar Chandiga leads Zor Ankhbayar 9 frames to 6 in this race to 11. I have to reply to one of the comments on the stream. Roger Stack says the way Chinese will also own snooker in the near future, and I have to reply to that and to say that we have our first Chinese world snooker champion as of last night. Zhao Xingtong won the snooker world championship against Mark Williams last night. That's an amazing achievement for that player and for China as well. Another big break from Zor Ankhbayar, and it's dry once again. So Caesar Chandiga at the table, leading 9 frames to 6 in this race to 11. I can tell you one thing, Caesar would like to close this match out as fast as he could. Doesn't want to let his opponent get any momentum now. Looks like Caesar wants to commit to taking on this clearance. I must say, solid's looking quite good. Requires some good positional play to get the 5 and the 6,
10
as they are on
seconds.
opposite ends of
延时
the table. That's where you can see Caesar taking his extension. Key shot now. Get the cue ball into the center of the table. You're playing into an area. The way he's left this now, might have to go 4-5, then 2-6. Yeah, leave himself a slight angle on this 5 ball. So far he's taken these really well, has Caesar. So slightly off angle on this 2 cue ball, running away from the 6 ball, so he's just gonna roll this in, just drop it in. Yeah, he's played that really well. Nicely played. That was a bad miss from Caesar. I was just about to say Caesar's flying now. Was on a good clearance, as we see that again, just catching the inside jaw, and on these tables you cannot clip the inside jaw at all. Outside jaw you can slightly get away with, as the pocket can pull the ball in off the outside jaw, but inside jaw no chance at all. And that was just reckless from Zor Ankhbayar, I have to say. That was a very good opportunity to stage a comeback in this frame, at least, having more balls on the table once again. And he gets another chance to come to this table. He's got 7 stripes on the table, Caesar only with the black ball. I think his first objective is to try and get that black ball away from that pocket. We did see him come around and have a look at the gap where the black ball is with the 11. So this would be the chance now. Look, even if you can replace the black ball with the 11 and push the black ball safe along that bottom cushion. He's powered it in. Hasn't left an easy shot for himself. So I'd say this would be the situation where a really good safety shot from him could secure him this frame. And he's left that loose. That cue ball should have been tight behind the 10 ball to really give Caesar a headache here. Great opportunity for Caesar now to get onto the hill. That black ball just made it to the pocket. Caesar Chandiga leads 10 frames to 6 in this race to 11. And that is 16 frames played, so the players will have a 10-minute break. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
幻影之刃系列大杆，搭载碳纤维前置， 超级蓝钻皮头，黄金版、白金版，采用进口头层水牛皮，颗颗精选，严格质检，韧性好，弹性持久，世界职业球员必用的皮头。超级蓝钻，以专业缔造不凡。
老孙啥功名不要，只求回到这花果山中老，过过逍遥日子。
3点结束，比赛继续。第17局，凯撒昌迪加开球。
And we are back with Caesar Chandiga leading 10 frames to 6 in this race to 11. So that's Caesar Chandiga now on the hill of this match, leading 10 frames to 6 over Zor Ankhbayar from Mongolia. Caesar on stripes, although looking at the table, a few issues with the stripes and the black ball as well, so might be a point in this frame where we do see Caesar going tactical, as he knows so far in this match he's always gotten the better of his opponent when it's come to that. Also do think Caesar might have to put a bit of work in on his breaks, because if he does have to face stronger tactical players, he might also be in trouble when it comes to that break. So, and we do know he's very capable of making the clearances as well, but that break not open enough. And as we know, that break rule did come out recently. That is revision 2025 of the Heyball rules, So most players getting used to the new break and a few of the new rules as well.
seconds. 延时
Zor Ankhbayar taking his extension for this frame. Important shot coming up here. And I'm not too sure about that shot. Yes, Caesar has a stripe safe at the top left, but he's actually opened up the balls by the center pocket for Caesar. I think that's another good shot from Caesar. I think he's just blocked the path of the green ball into the bottom left corner pocket as well by pushing the stripe out. So yeah, that's why he had to take the green ball. Had to get the green ball out. Playing the 15 onto the 4. Yeah, and at the same time trying to get that cue ball safe as well. Yeah, so he feels at this point his opponent can't make a clearance from here. I think you're going to see the cue ball tight onto the ball cushion after this shot. He's going to try and get it there. And he's underpaced that, leaving that cue ball way too far from the top cushion. So we know the 6 ball doesn't go into the bottom left. The 2, however, does. He might have to take the 2 on, or the fine cut on the 1. I think it's the 2 ball. Yeah, he's taking this 2 ball on. I think Caesar has already taken one extension, or was that Zor Ankhbayar took the extension earlier? Caesar might still have his extension left. Might need it soon. These are important shots. He's got a path to the 1. Yeah, that bridging off the corner jaw is not easy at all. Perfectly straight as well. Needed very good cue action to get that one in. So I would say Caesar at the table, advantage Caesar in this frame so far. So in the past frames, this is the situation where Caesar always capitalizes on his opponent's mistakes. If he can do that now,
10 seconds.
he's going to be able to win this match quite convincingly. As Caesar takes his extension. Took his time with the rest there, did Caesar. Now, one good shot to get from the 11 to the 8 ball. I was actually gonna say that he would have liked to leave this black ball straight if he could, to be right behind it, because even now if he rolls it in, cue ball comes off the cushion, he's leaving the 1 ball on as a pot, so this has to go. Looks good, it's there.
本场比赛结束，凯撒
Caesar Chandiga wins
恭喜，
11 frames to 6
谢谢。
over Zor Ankhbayar from Mongolia.